Here is the Toastmaster 16-inch oscillating table fan. This is a really strange fan. I found it on the Goodwill auction site, and I've never won an auction on there before. Every once in a great while, if I see something that I like that has zero bids on it, I'll put down a minimum bid, but I've never won. And if I see something that has three or four bids on it or whatever, I could just assume that somebody wants it more than I do. I don't get into bidding wars or anything. I'll put a minimum bid on something, and um, so far up until now, I've always been outbid. But this one, the minimum bid, I think it was like $9.99, ended up being the winner, and so I got it for $9.99 plus the shipping on it. So I guess it worked out. But it's the Toastmaster. Oh, the other weird thing about it was that it was supposed to be the 12-inch. They listed it as a 12-inch model, and I could not tell that it was a 16-inch by the picture. So when I got the box on the porch, I saw the box on the front porch. I thought that's kind of overkill. And then when I opened the box and realized it was a 16, it was a pleasant surprise. So it's, let me see, get the flashlight here. It's kind of dark in here, but it's the Toastmaster full-on wood grain, fake wood grain panel sticker with the gold letters and border, and it's the DeLuxe oscillating fan. And notice how they spelled deluxe. It's actually DeLuxe. If that's not how the French actually spell deluxe, I guess it makes it that much more funny. That would be something. The label is kind of weird too. I don't know if somebody put tape on it or what that is. I don't think it's the protective film stuff that's meant to come off when you buy the fan new. I tried to pick at it and peel that off, and it's like, I think that must have been done by the manufacturer, but they did a poor job of putting it on here. You've got this ripple there, but I don't know. I guess it's okay. It's not torn or faded or anything like that. Looks pretty good, so whatever. I'm gonna leave it alone. It looks a lot like the Lakewood fans from the 80s, specifically the grill, but it's pretty far from it, actually. Let's see, there's no sticker information or anything on the fan. All that there is on the bottom here. Let's see if I can, here it is. Here's where they would have stamped it, but did a very poor job. It looks like that was going to say model. Would have been a model number stamped there, maybe with some other information, but it either wore off or they just did a really poor job of stamping the information on there. Yeah, it's a strange fan. Here's kind of a rear view. It looks like the motor housing reminds me of the Korean Northern Air fans. That's what this looks like to me. The guard looks a lot like the Lakewood guards. I wouldn't be surprised if these weren't actually molded from the same dies as the Lakewood guards. They weren't made by the same company that made those guards for the Lakewood fans, but the rest of it does not appear to be like the Lakewood fans. It's in really nice condition though, and these aren't brittle. These are still pretty flexible. This plastic is still in good shape. All the plastic is in good shape. The base is a little bit brittled, but pretty good shape overall. The blade is like a, it's like a brown, but I mean in the right light it looks more like a caramel, kind of has kind of a sheen to it. Got the Toastmaster logo here. You've got the Toastmaster plug that you see on the other Toastmaster fans usually. And before we run the fan, I did make a couple of short videos as I was putting the fan back together, just to show you guys some of the stuff that you can't see right here. So I'll go ahead and splice those in right about now. Here is the motor for the Toastmaster fan. Pretty nice looking motor. Wanted to show you guys. Pretty stout, tremendous looking windings. Capacitor says made in Korea, and it's a Samhua capacitor company. Capacitor. Another interesting observation, the wiring harness says KDK Kawasaki. So there's some Japanese components going on here too, it would seem, but it's a very simple but good quality motor, I think. The oil wicks were in good shape. I was able to reuse the oil wicks. Not much wear on the motor shaft or the bearings. Everything looked really good, pretty clean. Just got it back together. Wanted to show you guys. Yeah, pretty nice. Easy to work on too. Only 3 motor screws. They were easy to remove. Motor was easy to split. No issues there, and seems to be working okay. So we'll get this thing back together and see how it runs. Here's something else I thought I would show you guys about this fan. It's kind of weird how the blade mounts on. So first you've got this spring clip back here, and then you slide this white piece on here. This little chuck piece has a tab that rests up against the side of the loop on the spring, and then you've got this little brass piece slides on like this. Whoops. Followed by, this thing has these little notches on it, and then the blade, try not to break the blade here, try to make sure I get this thing lined up right. Those little notches will fit in those slots in the blade. So it's a very specific kind of mounting process. It's weird. I have seen other fans with something similar to that. The Frigid fan, the 16-inch Frigid fan that I have, that I think is from like the late 60s, the one, I don't know if you guys would know the one, it was made by, I think Mitsubishi made it. They have something similar to this. It's not quite the same, but it also has something similar. So then this little clip goes on and holds that, and then you have your traditional blade nut, but most of these are reverse threaded. Most of them have left-hand threads like the Galaxy fans and whatnot. This one actually is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I think that's the only one of these I've ever seen that's actually goes on the way that you would think it would, like the first time you ever opened up a table fan and try to turn it the wrong way. And I want to make sure that I don't overdo it. Just kind of barely snug it up here, because these blades, it kind of looks like the floppy, you know, soft flexible blade material, but this is definitely the shatter type of plastic. So I think we're ready to put the front guard on now and do our first test run. We'll go ahead and start the fan on high speed now. Note the startup sound. It's kind of weird. It kind of sounds like a power grid shutdown sound right when you start it, and then it powers up like normal. But hopefully you can hear what I'm talking about. It's kind of strange. Sounds kind of cool, but here we go. Hopefully you heard that. It's kind of different. Fan's pretty powerful. Seems like it runs pretty fast, but the air movement is actually pretty disappointing in this thing. I gotta think that a Galaxy 16-inch fan from the same time period is probably at least twice the airflow that this thing is putting out. I think that's pretty conservative estimate. It just doesn't really throw out the air like you would expect it to. This feels more like a low speed on a Galaxy fan. See if I can get a measurement here. Feet per minute. So that's pretty dismal for what this fan should be throwing out right now. At least it seems to be consistent. At least the air distribution seems to be pretty consistent. Low to medium. I'll try the low. One good thing about this, it has equal air distribution throughout. Make sure whole diameter, yeah. Throughout pretty much the whole diameter of the fan, wherever you hit it. And although the velocity isn't very good coming out on the low speed, I gotta think that this is probably ideal for what you would actually want in a low speed, and it sounds pretty cool. I kind of like the way the fan sounds. And it actually seems to carry. It's not like the airflow just dies off. I'm probably about 6 feet away and can still feel it pretty good. And I can tell that I could probably feel it just as well from about 10 feet. So I think this is ideal, but the high speed is pretty disappointing. Here's the oscillation now, and pull this out just a little bit. Oscillation runs nice and smooth. Fan's in great condition. I have never seen one of these before. Had no idea they existed. I didn't think to measure the power draw on this. I should probably do that at some point. Won't be today though. Go back to medium. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that this is a Sunbeam or Samsung made fan in Korea. That's just a wild guess, I really don't know. The high. I would think that had they put a more traditional metal wire guard on this thing, the airflow would be devastating. Fan's a powerhouse. It's just severely limited by the guard. I'm not sure if that's the same guard as the Lakewood fans or not. It really looks like it. Really nice spin down there. Bearings are really free. I really like the motor on this fan. Pretty good quality motor. I like everything else about it. I even like the way that the guard looks. It's just not ideal for high speed, what you would be expecting on a high speed on this. I guess I didn't clean it that well, did I? Oh well. Anyway, here it is, the Toastmaster 16-inch mystery fan. Thank you for watching.